I am so excited because I have Tangie here with me today. And why I am pumped is because I have worked with her. I have bought two of her offerings. But first and foremost, I came across her on social media, specifically on Threads, which is where my favorite place is to hang out. And I started watching this woman be so excited and so passionate. And then she was having these incredible things happening in her business. And I said, who is she? I need to learn more. And so then obviously I booked in with her. But first, before we get into that and all of her genius and her magic and her wisdom, Tangie, where are you in the world? And tell me a little bit about your business.
Right now, I'm in Spain, southern Spain, in Cordoba, and I am about to run out of time on my visa. So we have to leave the EU in the next, what, 2 weeks? And we have no plans. But I have a few good options on the table for the next place that I'll pop over to. So that's where I am in the world. And lucky for me, I have created an online freedom-based business. So all of my marketing and all of my clients coming from social media and having clients all over the world and doing everything like this or videos or automated lets me have that type of freedom. And it's all because I pair social media and human design. That's my whole thing.
My God, I'm so excited. I know. So if we go back to you're in Spain right now and you've been traveling throughout the EU, why?
Why would you do that? What's wrong with you? Are you insane?
Because you started or you were in Texas, right?
I was born in Louisiana. A lot of people don't know that. I grew up in a trailer park.
Same.
Brags to riches over here. I was born in Louisiana, but I grew up in North Texas. That's where my friends and family and school and all of those things. Yeah, and just the majority of my life happened, but I did move a lot and I started exploring new places as soon as I turned 18. But how I ended up in Spain, actually, I haven't told this story. Like, there's more than one story. There always is, but part of the reason that I'm in Spain is actually because of human design. I received invitations to leave Texas. I was in an apartment in Texas with my kids, and my ex and I had recently gotten divorced, but he was right down the hallway in the same complex. We were doing the whole co-parenting thing. But I had a really mean neighbor who didn't like that we lived above him. She was just were not allowed to move or vacuum or walk. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of this apartment. I was just gonna move to another unit. But I was working on my human design business, like a business I had previous to this, where I just taught the foundations of human design. And I had a client, a coaching client, invite me to Dublin because I helped coach her to start her freedom based business. I had a project manager that I was working with invite me to Paris. She's French or originally, that's where she's from, and she was going to be home. And there was a human design advanced class, like a live class happening in London. And all of these things were happening like in a 3 week period. And I got invited to all three of them. I wasn't looking for the class. It came into my email inbox like, hey, you've taken a course with us before. Would you like to come live? My project manager was just like, hey, if you're going to be in Europe for that, you should come swing by and see me. And then my client was like, hey, I have a thing in Dublin and you've helped me so much. I got a 2 bedroom apartment. If you just want to swing by, like, feel free if you want to come. And I was like, actually, I do. So I put all of my stuff from my apartment in storage, intending to come back. I was going to leave for a month. And I was like, I'll save a month's rent, whatever. But once I got here, like the trip just kept getting extended. It ended up being a 7 week European tour. Just me, look, just me and this guy. And here, I had one carry-on sitting right next to me. Uh, And I came back to Texas and I was like, no. So then we went and lived in Guadalajara, where my ex has family. He's half Mexican with the kids and his new partner for 5 months. And I was like, I like Mexico, but I don't like you. So I went back to Texas to get away from him. And he did his own thing. And then I was like, born again. up and left Texas again, went to Mexico City for what, like 7 months straight last year. And I was like, now that I've been so far removed from the United States and of course all of the things that are happening politically and like just being from Texas of all places, like my parents are playing Fox News on their TV 24/7 and I'm like, guys, wake up. Um like leaving and then coming back, it was actually being American too much of a culture shock for me. To be in the US, like just I could not handle it mentally, physically, spiritually, like it was crushing. And so I was like, and we're off again. But somewhere along the lines, my sons, because their dad was traveling separate from me now, got the opportunity to really get intense soccer training in southern Portugal. And I just could not nail down a location yet. And when I did, it wasn't the same place that everybody else wanted to be. So they went ahead and got their visas in Portugal so they can stay longer than 90 days. And I didn't. And so to be around my kids, I have to like do a little dance. They're 12 and 8. I have two sons, but they're thriving in their little baby soccer careers and spending a lot of time with their dad. I was a stay-at-home mom prior to all of this. So like they had their formative years with me 24/7. So it's like an interesting contrast for them to exist in. But they're with him and his new partner currently. I'm picking them up in 2 days actually and bringing them to Spain to hang out and play before I have to leave. So long story short, it's my last 7 years of like,
I just love it. It's so inspiring to watch you because you're like, I'm here. I had this really massive long travel day and now I'm here with the train and all these things and everything worked out. And I'm like, oh my God, the courage it takes to do that.
it's I Ashley, I'm getting old. And I'm like, this is so good for my gray matter. You know what I mean? Like I'm never gonna get dementia or Alzheimer's because like everything is a challenge. All of this, like I'm always pushing the limits of like environment and like sleeping situation and food situation and travel situation and public transportation and like playing with all of these variables while running a whole business and
And
studying like most complex spiritual systems.
I was going to say, and your business is exploding on top of that. So before we
Yeah.
get into that, can you tell me what your human design is, your profile, and your energy type?
So this is a challenging question because I believe in and use business charts. So I'm going to tell you my natal chart,
Yeah.
and there is a whole energy of like this rebrand. I needed to be born. To be born again. And so my Pointy Aura has its own natal chart, but my natal chart that I've been, walking around with since I plopped onto Earth, I'm a 1/3 splenic projector, and that's where Pointy Aura comes from because that is the shape of the projector aura. Pokey. That's mine. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
business one.
Mm-hmm. And so that's your natal chart. And then just because I'm curious, and you don't have to share this if it doesn't feel aligned, but what are your sons?
My oldest son is part of the reason I got into human design because he's a manifester type, super rare, and the type of human that you can't tell what to do. So I was just like mentally crashed out as a parent. Like, how do you be a parent and a projector who just loves telling people what to do? How do you how do you deal with a human who was born not wanting to be told what to do? Like what do I do? Who has the like where's the map? Where's the strategy? Where's the like the guidebook for parenting? And for every parenting journey is its own adventure and challenge. But me learning that like I'm my type and he is not meant to be told what to do, like just expanded everything in our lives and in our relationship and even like his relationship with his dad and his dad's new partner. Like everybody understands that we get the best of him. We just let him initiate. And he is also part of the reason for all of the international travel, like I have a story on my Instagram of like he got gifted a soccer ball when we were in Italy and now he's got this whole soccer career and it's in Portugal and it's like I'm sure he'll be recruited into an academy or into a professional team and that will take us somewhere else, but that's not isolated. That is like his entire life. He has initiated me into different groups, into different communities, into different interests, but not just me, everyone. And so allowing for that, giving space for that made all of our lives interesting. And it also made our relationship great because I'm never standing in his way. As much as I want the kids to be with me, I know that he wants to be committed to soccer and he's somewhere that I don't want to be. So it's like, okay, we've initiated onto this timeline. And then as soon as like something else comes through for you, we'll just bounce somewhere else. You tell all of us what to do, I guess. And then my youngest, precious angel, I adore both of them, but my youngest is an Aquarius sun like me, and he's just so sweet and affectionate. He's a manifesting generator, and he has almost his entire chart defined. There's one center that's not colored in, and that center is fully open with no gates. So it's just like a lot of pressure on that one little spot, and then just a lot of energy everywhere else. But he's just a delight as a human. He was easy to ferret.
Because you guys speak a similar language?
Yeah, like both in astrologically, like both being Aquarians, but also just, I don't know, essence, personality, easygoingness, but maybe all of that is tied back to being Aquarian also.
Yeah. Right. The energy. So you have been traveling around. Is there one spot that kind of holds a piece of your heart still?
Mexico City.
Why?
It's my jam. It's my favorite. I've been a lot of places. It's my favorite place I've ever been. Anywhere, ever. It's the place aside from where I grew up, it's the place I've stayed longest that I like desired to stay, desired to not leave. Mexico City has so much to offer. Like, just, you name it. You name it, they got it. Like, it's a great culture. It's great history. It's great people. It's the best food you'll ever have in your freaking life. It's walkable. The weather is like not bad. They have a rainy season and everybody knows and it's fine and you just deal with it. Yeah. And I'm obsessed with Mexico City. Like I could walk it in my mind. It's so great. I was, 7 months there last year and I would go back right now, but it's really far.
Yeah. And you're exploring the world, So
And
as part of this,
chicken.
Yes. So as part of your journey, I know that you touched on this a little bit, but you had a business before the one where your focus is now with your rebirth and the business chart that you have now. So can you tell me a little bit about that business and why you shifted?
Yeah. So that business was born from divorce. It was like my slingshot moment. So my ex and I was completely surprised. Like this was not my idea, but we had to split. I was a stay-at-home mom. Like I was good. I was comfortable. Like we'll just do this. We'll just do this forever. And I'm just gonna like my whole identity is my kids, and we'll be happy. She wasn't as happy as I was. So like, but I value, as you know, I value freedom, but I also just don't have the energy and commitment that it takes to work a 9 to 5 that doesn't pay me back in the types of things that I value. Like, because money is just not, it's never been my top thing. So I was like, what do? I got to do something. So a coach helped me through the whole divorce process. It was very traumatic. Like I said, I was completely shocked. I had no idea what was coming. A trauma coach specifically, like, was there with me doing like the best coaching anybody's ever done, I think. Totally changed my life, totally changed my perspective on everything. And of course, naturally, I'm like, I want to be a coach. You're a coach. I want to do what you do. It's just like, you could be a coach. You could totally be a coach. But I went and I spent the last of my savings. I paid for a whole big old certification. I did all of the hours, like ICF accredited everything, and started a coaching business. But human design was my hobby. And so if a client would give me their info, I'd be like, I'm just curious, but I'm not like reading your chart. I'm not using this for our coaching. I'm just curious. But I was observing their patterns and their stuckness in their charts, but I wasn't using their chart to coach them because ICF doesn't like that. They don't do that. So I was just asking powerful questions and listening deeply and doing my official coach thing. And my clients were amazing. I love them. They love me back. Like I was doing the official coaching exchange that you do, but I could just see I could help them so much more if I wasn't like tied to this whole standard and code of ethics and like all the things that you can and can't do, because I think human design would help them. And so these are like running concurrent. I'm doing readings for free. I'm studying for free. Like I'm just taking in everything I can because I'm so interested. And then I'm getting paid coaching clients and I cannot cross that line. And so eventually I was like, okay, my next client, I'm gonna tell them that I have to use humans. Um, and so I started to kind of like weave those two together in my sessions and with my clients, complete agreement. And it was great. They were able to just go, oh, I suddenly can hear you now. I suddenly hear you because I agree with the way that it's in my chart. And I was like, yeah, totally. Like rock and roll. And social media, another concurrent interest. I would post about my coaching, of course, like on an official business page. But TikTok was kind of new. This is like back in 2021. So I'm like consuming TikTok, posting here and there, like just doing the rules of marketing for socials. But one day I just got on TikTok, post divorce, coaching business, human design hobbyist. I got on TikTok and I was like, my boyfriend's about to break up with me, and this is how I can tell from his human design chart, it was all true. And it like first post related to human design just took off, went viral. People are asking me like about this. What about me? What about this chart? What does that mean? Tell me more about how you knew. Tell me everything you know about human design. And I was like, oh, sure. I love invitations. And I used their comments to like build momentum on my page. And then every comment, I was like, oh, I answered for one variation, but there's 6 more variations I could answer this for. So let me make a post. And I just strategically started like filling up all of the foundations of human design into my TikTok page. And people were like, never heard anybody say it but that way. You're so clear. You're so direct. I've learned so much from you. Thank you so much. So like, I'm like, cool. Let me just organize it for you. I organize it on my link. All the videos are linked back. It's free mini reading. Can I get a reading with you one-on-one? Can you look at my chart? Like, can I pay you? And I'm like, okay, sure. Right? I start doing readings. Can you teach me human design? I want to learn from you. Okay, cool. Like I have this whole course set up. I have a membership, all of it. Everything was happening and it was amazing. I had so much growth and momentum over 2 years. And to me, I was like, I'm living my dream, spiritual awakening. I'm so glad that like my life was interrupted, at my nodal return, and now I'm on my real path, and everything's great. And then it just wasn't. 2 years of growth and momentum and trajectory, and I'm like, cool, I can do this, love this. And then it was just like brick wall. And there was nothing I could do to figure out my way around this brick wall. Every direction I went, it just never ended. I was like, how do I keep going? I don't understand. Like, how do I do this business thing? What am I doing wrong? I thought I did all the things that I was supposed to do. And I was like, no, I can't handle another spiritual awakening. Like that one was great, but I don't like the hard part. I don't want to do it again. So I didn't have a spiritual awakening. I had a whole existential crisis because I was like, if I built this whole brand on human design and from living my own design, and I'm stuck and nothing's working and I'm not making money anymore and nobody's interested anymore and none of my posts are doing anything. I'm not getting any views. It's just nothing. Every coach I hired gives me no return on investment. Like, I don't understand. I don't want to have another. I don't want to have another bad time. I already had a lot of bad. But I had a really bad time. It's a really hard year. And it's like, people don't always see travel for the double-edged sword that it is. Like it's all fun and adventure and discovery, but it's also, there are no comfort. There's no familiarity. There's no home. It's like, you're always like, at this high level of intensity about life. And it's great when you've left comfort, and maybe when you can't have comfort to go back to, but I didn't have that either. So it's a very huge existential burnout, mind blowing, all of the things moment to have given up everything, to have no home, to have no resume, to have no savings because I just put it all back into the business trying to keep it alive. No partner. My kids are now with their dad, and I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Should I opt out now? Give me something, anything. And this is why I love what you do, by the way. It's a side note, because that is exactly how I felt. And that's what I kept telling the readers and things. I was like, I just feel like I can't anchor back in. Just feel like I know that I've had it before. I know that I've seen the signs. I know that I've had the connection. I know that I've had the higher wisdom. I know that I've had a direct line, and I don't right now. And I'm lost. I can't find it. I don't know what to do. And there's no one to ask. There's nowhere to turn. What the fuck do I do? So it's more dramatic than that, because I know I'm rambling on this and spinning it. It was even worse than that. Okay. But finally, I realized that I'm trying to revive a business that maybe doesn't want to be revived. I've thrown everything at it. And at some point I was like, I'm actually trying to revive an identity that I don't have anymore and that I don't want to revive. It's not that nothing's wrong with the business. I probably could put ads to it and it would be fine. But I can't put my energy there. I started that business. I was post-divorce, freshly new on everything, high on a spiritual awakening. I had hot pink hair. I love everybody. Everything's unconditional. We're all connected. Human design is just our path. And it just tells you how to be your highest self. And that's the only thing it tells you. And realizing that that's not the only thing it tells you, that it's a huge, massive deconditioning process that teaches you how to not be fake. I was like, oh, that whole business is high vibe, love and light, only the best parts of human design. The shadows are okay, but you don't have them. Only other people have them. I was like, oh, I have to let go of that. I have to let go of that part of it. So I was like, okay, I release. And literally, that's all I had to say. I just had to surrender. Okay, that's not me anymore. I don't have any energy here. I don't want to do it anymore. What now? And I had been trying to write a parenting by design ebook for that business as anything to bring it back. And I was like, I feel so stupid and such an imposter because my kids aren't even here with me right now. What can I even say about this? And everything. But the writer in me was awake. I was doing the artist way at the same time. And I was like, okay, if I could just pluck anything and just do whatever I want, because I'm basically dead. I'm basically just a sack of bones at this point. I'm nothing. No ego, no nothing. No momentum in any direction, any country, any partner, any business. I have friends, thank God, or I probably would have opted out, and my kids. What now? The writer is open. What are my what do I do? And so I just was like, what do I do? I sit here on social media all day and I research human design for funsies because I'm weird. I was like, okay, I'll just put those together. What could go wrong? And so I researched human design. I researched the charts of creators that I knew from TikTok that were my friends that had hundreds of thousands of followers, if not millions. And I just had their charts right in front of me. And I was like, well, what do they do? What do they consistently do? And because I know human design like the back of my head, where's that in their chart? And so I looked and I looked and I looked at a bunch of them. And I was like, oh, okay, I see a pattern. Oh, okay, I can write this. I can document this because I see it. And if there is a variation that I don't have a specific creator to tie it back to, I know so much about human design that I can fill in the blank. But I have a bunch of history and case studies and evidence. So for most of the things, it was just me synthesizing what I already knew for over 8 years of study. And what I also studied social media. I was on every single platform with my previous business. TikTok was my main, but I was also on Pinterest. I was also on Instagram. We were posting and reposting everywhere. I have 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. We were posting everything everywhere all the time. I understood what worked and what didn't. But I was like, I don't want to be the social media hook guru lady. I was like, okay, well, I'll just put my two nichiest niche together and see what comes of it. And that I started writing the report in the dark, like no audience. I hadn't opened any accounts. I hadn't started the rebrand. I was just like, let me write about the thing. But it was like a voice came, a brand voice came through in the writing of like not wanting to be censored or filtered anymore, not wanting to have everything love and light all of the time. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then, of course, when I start my business account, human design has like a 90-day incubation for every chart. That's why there's a personality side and a design side. And so, like, me writing was the incubation period prior to the birth of that brand. So it was totally made sense and aligned that, like, I decided to come back to the US. I decided to stop putting anything into that other business. I decided to open the gates to start writing without a really clear, like, birth plan. But that 90 days was my incubation period for the birth of Pointy Aura. Man, that was a long story. Thank you for listening.
That is so riveting. I think so you just decided, this is when this is going to be born, and this is the type of profile I want my business to have, or did it come through organically?
I used an electional astrologer. A client of mine, she had asked me to help her understand her human design and kind of help with some business, like setting up back-end things in her business as a reader. And she was like, yeah, I do electional astrology. And she was like showing me all of these things that she does. And she showed me that she can look at your rising sign and tell you when to get like, aesthetic treatments or get your hair done. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. But obviously I crashed out. So we ended our contract. But I looped back to her and I was like, hey, I know you do electional astrology. Like, would you be willing to just take a look and tell me if there is an auspicious day to like start something or launch something? Because the reports are like not done, but they are like incubating, I'm like, okay. It was like a little poke, like a maybe, like if what I ask you about comes back, maybe I'll go ahead and do it. I was still very traumatized by my own life. But I asked her, she's like, absolutely, yeah, I'm totally willing to do that for you. Just give me a couple days. So she went and did a bunch of research, sent me charts back, sent me a full explanation. She gave me 2 dates. And I was like, okay, I'll do both. And so this is the first date, and the second date is in like 2 months.
Whoa. I love that. Working with the stars,
Yeah.
So
I chose the date at the time, the sun sign, the rising sign, the human design chart, like all of it. I was like, cool, I can get on board with this. But she chose through electional astrology the thing that was compatible with me natally, not just like the luckiest moment of the year, the luckiest moment of the year that agrees with my natal chart as the person who is running the whole thing.
Oh, divine. Yeah. I love that. So I was thinking, it's interesting because I know part of your story, because I found you on Threads, right? And your story is pinned to the top so that people can understand what, especially last year, what you walked through from a business perspective. And when I had to read my feed with Tangie, and we'll share that in a little bit, but it was where you had shared with me in my session that a variable or an arrow on my chart is my motivation, and I'm hope motivated, and you're hope motivated, aren't you? But you were with, yes. But you were with a coach who was trying to help you, and they were not, and it was part of your crash out, right?
Yeah. It's called transference in human design, which is like a whole other rabbit hole, super niche, like human design PhD topic. But basically, it's like everything in the chart has an opposite pole, and especially in the variables, and especially in the mental variables. Okay, so the things that can impact our mental health. So the ones that are on the right side, the 2 arrows, those are the mental. And then the 2 arrows on the left are the physical, their digestion and environment. Very much physical. Everything on the left is physical. Everything on the right is who you think you are. And it's very much happening inside of your own skull. And so these 2 arrows have the potential, like you have your natal potential, and then you have this opposite pull that pulls you out of your natal potential, but like to the polar opposite, not to any given direction. Like every single color, there's 6, they're numbers, but they're called colors, and there's 6. Every color has an opposite transference. And so knowing your motivation is great, excellent, so fun, right? It's like, ah, okay, I know what to do with myself. Knowing your transference is helpful relationally, but also for your mental health, because you can tell when you're getting that polarizing pull and it's feeling like not healthy. It's feeling like not me. It's feeling like my mind is not right, or my thoughts are not right. And so when everything was failing in my business, I was trying everything, and I was throwing money at everything, and I was asking, and I was seeking support. And you know, and because I loved my business, and I loved talking about human design and my audience and all the things. And I brought on a coach slash friend that had my transference, and nothing wrong with her inherently, but transference of hope is guilt. And so like her mind is meant to find what's wrong and to like be a fixer. But when your mind is fixed on fixing, there's always something wrong. And for people like us who are motivated by hope, like we need little like affirmation and reminder, and like little moments of like, but you're doing great. But this will work out. But, you know, if you give it enough time or whatever it may be. And that wasn't the type of energy exchange that we had. And I realized I started in maybe April 2025, and I realized it in January 2026. So it was like I was so focused on the logistics, and like this person knows more than me, this person makes more than me, this person has the answers. I don't have the answers. So I'm just going to stay until I figure it out, because something's wrong with me. And it was in January that like I was looking at the variables again, and I was like, wait a second. And then I went and checked, and I was like, I'll be damned. We would just stay in this dynamic. And so when we had our call, I was like, it's important to hire a coach who like can meet whatever energetic need that you have in that moment. And my mental health was not doing great. And so it was like a bigger energetic need than maybe like looking at our compatibility chart or connection chart in human design, or looking at any other variables. Like mentally, I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I came in my transferred state. It makes sense why I was attracted to that. But it kept me there in the state that was unhealthy for me natally. And yeah, like I released that in a few different layers, and like every layer that I released of that connection brought me more and more energy and success, and like non-attachment even back to everything. So yeah, that was a huge human design lesson for me, for someone who was already 7 years in, to take a peek at a corner of my chart that I had kind of let exist with everything else simultaneously. So, big on mental health. It's called rave psychology, if anybody wants to Google it.
Thank you. What I think is so cool, because you started Pointy Aura at everything, you cleaned the slate, right? You started with 0 on Threads and Instagram. And what's so fun for me, and I'm learning so much just by observing you, is that you started and then you're like, today I've been in X amount of days on Threads and I have X amount of new besties. And I'm sitting there like, I want to be a bestie. Follow? What? And then I get to be part of what you're building. And so I'm seeing you have over 600 followers. When did you launch this?
I have like 1,200 now.
On Threads?
The day is
Oh,
day
yeah.
70 something. Oh, Instagram, yes. Instagram, I like 600 and something. May 22nd.
Yeah, May. And it's July 30th today. And so every day I watch you, and I think part of what I was also drawn, outside of the story of where you shared your business, everything flatlined, because I experienced that 2-3 years ago, and just the amount of weight and the frustration, and like, I love what I'm doing. Why is this happening? And then you crash out and you clear the slate and you did that. And so what's so cool is watching you, we get to be on this journey with you. We get to see you have new friends, or when you launched your social media and human design charts that people can get, that it's so fun to look at, but you're like, I have this many. I haven't made this much money in my business. And I'm like, oh my God, we are in this together. So it's so fun watching you thrive, but also you share the valleys, you share the terrible thing. It's the full spectrum that we get to be part of. So I came across you and I said, bada bing, bada boom, give me that chart. I need it. Because I love human design, and I am so rarely getting to be seen by a projector. And so because
Mm.
I'm a projector and it's like, oh yeah, pointy aura, just precision, get in there, you know? And so when I downloaded my chart, I sat there and I have heard some of these things before, but the way that you see human design, the way that you see how you can work with your specific design for social media and how you can bring your gifts online and things like that was just so fun and magical. And I immediately was like, boom, book in. I need to read my feed with you because the way that you wrote it out was so fabulous. So can you tell people a little bit about what they can get in that chart?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I did deep research. I didn't like guess. I didn't write on mainstream topics. I actually had to stop following any other human design content creator years ago. Not because I don't love them, obsessed with them. I don't want to sound like them. And I don't want to put a spin on a spin on a spin on a spin. I just go back to the source information. I literally like I'm traveling, I can't carry books. So like this iPad is like my 25 different journals and planners, but also like I uploaded PDFs of the definitive book of human design. If I have a question, I go in my iPad and I go to my book and I know what page to go to and I do the research and read the source information and nobody else's. And so I think that that is definitely like why my writing and my reports sound different than anything anybody's heard on the topic of human design because it's very easy. And I did it in my other business. Very easy to regurgitate, to find your favorite teacher and just pair it because it's like I'm learning. And so my way of learning is repetition. And I moved past my repetition phase and more into my integration phase of human design of like, okay, it's a 7-year experiment is what they typically say. I'm 7 years into this. My whole DNA has changed. Like my body, my face, like everything about me is different and deconditioned according to my human design chart. Now I want to take this rebirthed person and apply the knowledge that I have, but with specificity and with personality. And so I wrote the reports from that energy and from that expertise. Honestly, like I've done hundreds of readings on top of this, and on top of just like geeking out and enjoying the study of human design and astrology and degree theory and the I Ching and Kabbalah and the chakras, because they're all up in there, and quantum theory and mechanics and all that shit. And so I took all of that energy, momentum, and expertise and everything I know about social media. And then I was like, I cannot write 10,000 variations. Like, it would be too easy to be very surface if I was like, okay, type, strategy, authority, channel, gate. I know people who do it. Excellent for them. So happy for you. I do not have the patience. I was like, what is the most important, impactful thing that my best friend would want to know if she was like, I'm really into human design and I want to get on social media. What would you tell me? Where would you look at my chart, Tangie? And so I was like, oh, okay. I could pull out a few very important things. And I saw that like recording environments, important. We have that in human design. We have environments. I saw that like mindset, we are in our heads when we're on socials, perspectives, feelings, very important. Okay. So it's like, okay, I'll pull the variables of perspective and motivation. And then like the energy, human design will, not human design, social media will drain you. Like it is an energy vampire. It will extract everything that you've got and then say, create more. And so it's like, okay, let's go back to our type. what energy are you broadcasting? Not what energy are you giving away for free? Not what energy are you feeding the machine with? What energy are you broadcasting? Like, you've got it and you're just going to show up with that. And that means each post goes farther and you don't feel exploited. So it's like, okay, environment, broadcast energy, perspective, motivation. Cool. Like, we have a really good formula that we can work with here. Like, this can have a huge impact on someone's social media account just with the narrowing of those few things. Just with the specificity of those few things, I think that it will shift things for people pretty easily. And that was my thought. That was my hypothesis. It blew my mind to like sell a whole ton of reports. Everybody's tagging me. And then people are like, and Tangie, I did go viral. Or I did go back and look at my posts. And that was the one with the highest views. Or that was the one with the highest engagement. How did you know that? Well, because I looked at real charts. But being able to synthesize all of those things for myself with my research and to see it happen live and people to affirm what I said was like, yeah, that is actually happening. And one of the most surprising things, surprising but not surprising, but consistent probably is a better word. One of the most consistent types of feedback that I got was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I did when I first got on social media. And then I started trying to follow the rules. And then I got really far away from it and I didn't know how to get back to it. I didn't know what magic I had when I started. I could not clearly articulate it. I couldn't find it again. And you just gave me the words for the thing that I started with. And I'm just going to go back and do that now. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what human design is. Return to self.
And that's what when I downloaded my chart, I had that similar thing. I was like, what? I could just be me again? I got so far away because you were trying to compete with algorithms and you're following what other people are doing for success and then it doesn't work for you. And for me, I get bitter and I'm like, oh God, what? I love this. What's happening? And so I downloaded that and I poured through it and I started playing with it. And then I was watching on Threads how people were responding with you. And it was really cool because I was watching a bunch of 4 lines come out and be like, oh my God, my community needs this. And then I'm watching you start to connect with bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger accounts. And then they have glowing things to share about you. And so it's just really fun because I feel like, at least in our corner of the internet, because I get to be one of your besties, I just get to watch
Absolutely.
you thrive. And I get to watch other people thrive in their own magic because you were the bridge and the catalyst for them to remember who they are. And so outside of all of that, at the bottom of your chart for now, what you have is like, if this resonated with you and you want to go deeper into your specific design and how you can position yourself and really niche your own gifts in that way, book a Read My Feed session. And I immediately, boom, I'm on your calendar. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be so fun. And it frickin' was. Because I just full stop, it frickin' was. And so I wanted to jam a little bit about what you bring through in a Read My Feed and to talk about some of the things that you saw in me and then also in yours because every chart, like you said, is different. But before we do that, at a very, very high level, if no one has ever found human design before, can you just say a little bit about what that is?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I just stopped doing anything in my old business. I just stopped. Like, everything exists, but I don't do anything. And someone booked a reading with me to like a foundational human design. I don't even know where they found the link. Like, I didn't even know that link was turned on. Like, I was like, huh. Yay. All that to say, that whole thing exists. So if you like me, if you like my energy, I know that I had a whole death, but I was still vibing when I started that business. And you can pull a free chart still on that website. And every single one of the chart properties links you to a video of me with hot pink hair explaining every angle. So that's still available if anybody wants to go deeper into that. What was your question? If someone's brand new to human design?
At a high level,
Yeah, what is it?
My brain is like, pew, 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 pew. But I know that I can see the comments for some people, especially when I put this on YouTube, where they'll be like, what are you even talking about? And I'm like, oh, we are like 45 minutes in. I should, yeah.
Oops. I'll just I'll give it the intro. You just cut it and put it at the front and then keep it in here too.
Yeah.
So human design. What is human design? That's the big question. What is human design? If you're brand new, you never heard of it before. This is your first day on Earth. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So human design is a synthesis of 4 ancient systems. It is a combination of the I Ching, the chakra system, astrology, and mystical Kabbalah. It's very easy to see the connection points of each of those things in a chart. It looks like a body. It's got what looks like chakras in it, but we have 9 instead of 7, instead of the traditional 7 chart. I know there are schools of thought that have like hundreds or whatever. Also kind of looks like a tree of life. Our gates, that we have 64 gates, are coming from ancient Chinese divination, 64 ways of making a decision. So 64 ways a question can be answered, really. And then astrology, of course, we have all of the symbols, like all of the planetary symbols. And human design combines all of those systems into one. And what I say is, especially if you're like an astrology nerd, but this necklace is all of the zodiac signs. I'm an astrology nerd from childhood, obsessed, always have been reading horoscopes and super interested. If you're an astrology nerd, the way that I see it, because I was there first and then I came to human design, is like astrology to me is flat, but not like in depth of knowledge, but like literally seems like a flat chart. But it's interesting. It's like cool to go across this like flat map and understand your trajectory and understand like, everything on this one plane. See, it to me, it just looks like one plane, maybe to others. But human design, with the combination of things, especially the combination of the chakra system and astrology, it becomes 3-dimensional, becomes this aura that you're walking around with, and this aura that like bumps into other people's auras. So there's a whole lot about understanding yourself. There's also a whole lot about relational dynamics. When we look at the 4 different aura shapes, the 5 types, it's like, oh, yeah, a projector has this penetrating, pointy ass aura. Sometimes interacting with a projector, it's a little intense. It's a little bit of a lot. Like they hit you right in the heart. And so as a projector, like you and I both, understanding how to manage that, how to manage expectations, how to describe what it's like to be in my energy, how to pull back and not try to give everything to everybody because I need to offload all of their energy that I've absorbed and need to give back to them. How to learn how to not do that and how to put it somewhere else. Super important. But the same thing applies for every type. You have this strategy that's like a compass, but it's a compass for decision making and energy management, not a compass for like, this is what's going to happen in your life. It's like a compass for like, this is what to do with your body energetically. So like a generator, manifesting generator with this open aura, learning how, because they're very magnetic, what to do with all the things that come toward you. That's the strategy of response. It's not like, yes or no, good or bad. It's like everything all of the time. How do I filter all this shit out? Because my aura's opened. Oh, I need to check in with my gut. That's what tells me what's supposed to stay in here and where to put my creative energy and what to like push back out again, out of the openness of my aura. I talked about my manifestor sun. Their aura is closed and repelling. It's like, I've already decided I'm 200% in this direction. And if you stand in my way, you're going to get run over. Like you get the manifestor rage. They're meant to bump into you and just push you out of the way, because if they don't, we don't get their gift of initiation, of trailblazing, of doing things that you never would have thought you could do, So it's like the aura is built to let them do that. But if they get conditioned, if they don't listen to that inner drive that they have to initiate, like all kinds of bad stuff happens. The only other one we have is the reflector type. It's very rare. It's all white on the charts, 1% of the population you almost never see or meet. But they also have a Teflon resistant aura. It's sampling. It finds little anchors in people and environments and transits, and then it reflects that back out for you. And it's meant to be that. It's too much openness to have like a undefined chart, all of the chakras, taking in everything all of the time, and to not have an aura that knows how to filter. And so projectors are the most sensitive type of all. And I think that's probably why we find a lot of human design obsessed projectors because our aura is absorbing. Of all the auras, like it intentionally goes and tries to pick up and pull other people in to make them more efficient, to help them focus. We have 70% generator, manifesting generator, all of this energy, everything coming at them all the time. I want to create, I want to build, I want to do. And then like, okay, but what's the first step? Projector takes all of that generator, manifesting generator, and every type even, and then goes, okay, well, let me strip away all of the extras and tell you like the good advice, the actual like thing that you need to do. But that's very uncomfortable if you didn't ask for it. So it's like this whole system is built around, I always go back to the energy management and making decisions. That's the main thing it does, but it's very fun and interesting. And it's a rabbit hole and you can geek out on it. And that's what I have done because I got past auras. I was like, okay, energy managed, decisions made. What do I do now? And now I get into the smaller details and the gates and the dynamics of energy and the planetary placements and the neutrino stream that made me a projector, but also made me this kind of projector and made me this flavor. That's where I am now on my journey. But if you've just discovered human design, it's like astrology on steroids. The whole other level of crazy, wild, very hard to get into and understand and synthesize until you sit with it for a minute and like let it do its thing and let it unfold within you. And then you go, oh, this just keeps getting more and more interesting. That's my definition of human design.
That was gorgeous. I've been
Thank you.
in human design for I think 5-6 years, and I remember finding it, and it was like I had language for why I was the way I was, and at a higher level, I was given permission to be more me, knowing that, oh, my type actually is this, and that's why I have tried to give people advice, and then when they weren't ready for it, and then I became super bitter, and I'm like, but I literally am telling you what you need to hear in order to change your life, and they're like, nah, not you yet, right. And so it's an experiment, which I think is so fun because then it adds a layer of playfulness and you're going to try and fail and learn and all those things. But what I think is so fascinating about you is that you shifted it towards business and helping people become even more truer to who they are in their business and the magic that they have. And so in my read your feed session, can you tell me a little bit about what that is? And then we can go a little deeper.
Yeah, we're going from basic human design to like the most geeked out version of advanced human design that you're going to find anywhere on the interwebs. Well, no, there are some, but they don't explain it well. They explain it like a scientist or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, for real people. No, don't use the technical terms. Like, tell me your term. Anyways, so we saw what happened with the reports. Like, just kind of landed, and I was like, yes, I want to write this. I want to do this. These are variations that I can work with, like at a higher level, and that can be applicable at a broader range. Okay, still very specific, still very niche, but a manageable number of variables. When we get to the gates, we no longer have a manageable number of variables that can be automated yet. Maybe a robot will do it, but it won't have the same flavor. So people were like, I love this. This is great. Take me on a journey. And I was like, well, this is what I did. Like I did my rebrand and I was like, okay, from everything I know about my natal chart, my previous business and this business, this is where my authority is. This is the shit I'm always talking about. Same thing I did with the reports, like pulling previous evidence. This is the stuff I'm always talking about. This is what clients say about me. These are the types of testimonials I get. These are the people who are attracted to me, all of those things. And I was like, another pattern has emerged, but this must be custom. This must have my eyeballs on it because we have 64 gates. Like I said, that is not where we stop. Every one of the 64 has 6 lines. So it's 6 different expressions of that same gate, overarching energy of the gate. And the energy of the gate also has the energy of the energy center that it's in. It also has the energy of the channel that it's part of. It has a harmonic, in some cases more than one. And so that's just that many variations. But it also matters to me if it's conscious, so on the right side, on the right column, or if it's unconscious on the left column. If it's conscious, you're probably thinking that like I'm talking about my business and everything's super aligned and nobody can hear you because you're coming from inside your own head. And so we're bridging the gap to like the skin, to the voice, to the physical body, to the part that other people encounter of you first. So conscious, unconscious also matters to me what planet it's in. A gate in Pluto is not going to do the same thing as a gate in Mercury. Also matters to me. Like gates have higher expressions, lower expressions, and then a wider expression than just the normal descriptions. So it also matters to me if it's an exaltation, detriment, and juxtaposition. All this stuff I geek out on by myself. All this stuff I had already like written my own gates book with all 64 gates and all 6 variations in plain English that I could understand for me. I was tired of mentally going back to the foundational book and translating it for myself. So I already had this accessible to myself. And I was like, oh, okay, I immediately know what this gate means. I immediately already have in my head all of the variations. And if I can cross-reference this with a personal brand, I can tell you exactly what you're supposed to talk about. I can tell you exactly what people like about you. I can tell you what you're saying and they're not hearing. I can tell you the voice to deliver it in. I can tell you who your ideal client is and where they are on their symptom journey. And I can also tell you things about yourself that are very affirming and make you feel more confident, make you feel like an expert because you have been walking around with this your whole life. I'm just giving you the words. And so I just started, like I opened it up because people love my reports. So I was like, okay, let's do some read my feed sessions because I want to. I love deep diving in this. I love deep diving into charts. I love deep diving into people. And I was very specific about my ideal audience and client coming from my own chart. I want to work with occult content creators. I want to work with like people who are interesting to, like you are infinitely interesting to me. And I think any other business coach would make you kind of dull, like clear journey that doesn't, have this and that. And you have to say that. I'm like, boring. I work with channelers. I work with psychics. I work with astrologers, but I also work with like money manifestation coaches. I work with somatic practitioners. Like I work with people who do very physical things, but still I think all of them are interesting and 100% of them are women. So that's important to me. But taking like their lived experience, their interests and their personalities and then cross-referencing it with what's in their chart. So exciting, so fun, so spot on, accurate every time. But the other thing that blows my mind every time is that I'll take in the initial intake form in the chart and like the information will kind of be swimming. And I'll start to make a few connections, like I don't know this person. We just met. And then I'll go back to audit their social media and I'm like, oh my God, they literally do talk about I can't make this up. Like this is literally the only thing they do talk about. They just haven't like pulled it out and said, this is my topic. And this is literally the kind of client that they want to work with. They just haven't pulled it out and said, this is my ideal client. Everything is just swimming. Everything is not in a bucket. And so all I do is go, you've always been like this. You're always going to be like this. Here are your words. Keep them in these buckets. And when you inevitably evolve and expand and do different things, the essence of what I'm telling you is going to stay the same. You're not going to be able to escape these buckets. They can be a different niche, but this is who you are. This is how you are. This is how you talk. And you see that in my natal chart because my natal Mercury, like Tangie projector, is in gate 61, line 1. I want to get to the bottom of every mystery. All I can ever talk about. And so I'm always talking about the foundations of human design. I'm always talking about like, let's investigate. Let's get to the bottom of this. It's different in my brand because I'm a little too intellectual for most, too nerdy about this for most. But like that's still part of my natal essence. I will always be this way. And it's also nice because I told you I have my whole hysterical existential crisis. Do I even believe in human design anymore? Even if I don't, I would just find another spiritual system to talk about. It's the only thing I'm wired to talk about occult and mystery and like existentialism and like the expansiveness of the universe. It'll evolve. I'm a human. The through line, the essence underneath it does not change.
And you said that at 11:11 my time. I just
Okay.
So when I booked in with you, I was so excited because I felt like I was close, but I just wasn't there with precision. And so I came
E-
to Tangie, and my brand at the time was heart-led sovereignty because my purpose on the planet is specializing in the heart, knowing that the heart is our future from a collective consciousness perspective and where we're going. And what was so fascinating is you checked out my social and then you read my chart. And I sat with you and everything you kept sharing with me, I was like, oh my God, I feel so seen. How do you, oh my, wow. And so what's interesting is that 6 years ago, I had a session with a channeler. I asked her, what is my purpose? And she said that I'm here to specialize in the heart. And she said that what I do is that people come to me and their hearts are like in winter and they just can't, they don't feel alive, basically. But that I, through my heart, help people find spring again and to feel that spring summer energy. And I thought, how do I do that? How do I speak to that to people where I don't look like a just cuckoo? Because how do I explain that? And then I sat with you and I came to you as my thing being heart led sovereignty. And you were like, baby girl, that's the end state, but people can't hear you. And so you, through my chart, helped me understand, oh, I just need to shift the way I talk about things, the way I position myself. And so through my chart, can you share a little bit about what you saw in me?
Yeah. Well, everybody's got all of your raving fans are gonna love this, but like your top so I just was talking about my topic is occult and mystery and just getting to the bottom of all things like spiritual and just interesting and mentally expansive. But you have the gate of intuition. Like literally that it's called intuitive clarity. Like that's the top theme of gate 57. And so it's like, of course you're going to be like very intuitive in the way that you come across and the things that you talk about and the things that you're interested in, the way that your mind works even is in Mercury. But you have intuition in the sixth line. So we only go 1 to 6. 6 is the top. 6 is I completed a journey. 6 is role model energy. Okay. 6 is like, I got there. Now you can share it all my wisdom. And so it directly aligns with the way that you just described that session, which is intuition in difficult situations. But your gate 57 is exalted. So it's like you are a really great compass for being able to like maintain that intuitive clarity, that intuitive nature and wisdom, 6th line wisdom, when someone like is meeting something that is dense or difficult or the word that I came up with like foggy. But yeah, that's just the topic. That's just one of the gates. And as we went through each of the gates one by one, it was like more and more like, yo, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that tracks.
And what was so cool is I took myself on a journey of learning how do you channel the Akashic records, animal communications, and then I went into the subconscious mind. How do you work with that? How do you coach that, guide that, hypnosis, all that stuff? And so I took myself on a journey to a point where I was leading with modalities like angelic Reiki, hypnosis, and you were like, that's great, but people still can't see themselves where they are right now. And I think that's why that was so huge for me because I was speaking a language that didn't resonate. And of course, then I'm sitting here thinking, my work is so important. Why can't people hear me? Why aren't they booking in with me? Like, this is what the world needs. And when you shared with me that your best work, you're here to help people who are navigating the fog. And then to show them that, life can sparkle again and that there is this magic and that they have experienced that before and you can guide them through that again. I sat back and was like, I've been doing this my whole life. I just couldn't see it because it was too close to me until you put the words to that. And then you gave me permission to just be all of that. And I thought, I can do that. It was
We
just
love
so
that.
big. Yeah, right? And I also shared with you that one of the things I ran into is because I had been looking at what everyone else is doing I was like, I can't just be this sparkle fairy over here and talking about these things because when I have in the past, I triggered people to a point where they were saying, I'm in psychosis, you're delusional, all these things. And you're like, and that's not your problem. And I thought, it's not.
That's not your person.
And so the permission that you gave me through what you saw on my chart was just so magnificent and so helpful. And now I feel free.
Mm. That's how I feel too.
Because you give the language.
Yeah, I mean it's the same. It's the same energy that we talked about with the reports of like, oh, I had a thing and then I got overwhelmed, overstimulated, all of this other stuff came in, all of these rules fell on top of me, all of these ways that I'm supposed to be or allowed to be. So now I put myself through a performative filter and now even the people that used to like me don't even like me anymore. And so when I do these readings, it's amazing. And it's also kind of challenging for me because a lot of my clients are like, yeah, you're not telling me anything new. Like, I'm really jazzed that you're not telling me anything new, but you're not telling me anything new. And I'm like, well, I know it's your natal chart. But it's like, like I'm not giving you like this. It's like a head explode moment, but it's also like, and I always knew that. But yeah, it's permission to return back to your essence and your natal energy and validation. And it's also like categorization because what's a person? What's a soul? Everything, everywhere, all of the time. It's like, and none of us can see ourselves well. We have all of this essence. Maybe we have testimonials. Maybe we have proof. Maybe we have interest. But it's like scattered. And this is what a lot of clients come to me with. Is like all of these things exist, but they don't exist in a place. And because I don't know how to place them and categorize them, I'm just going to lead with the thing that is well categorized, the very human logistical thing, which is my credentials, my practitioner language. I'll go with that because that is very easy to put in a place and in a category. And with my wild mind, I was like, no, we have categories for all of it. Like, read my feed, of course, just the start. Like, this is just marketing. There's 26 gate placements. There's 26 different potentials in your chart. You also have a journey of transformation. You have your mood placement. You have your nodal trajectory. I'm taking 8 and putting my focus on them. But yeah, it's returning you back to your natal essence when it comes to value, Venus, and marketing, Mercury, communication. And then of course I pull in the Sun and Earth placements at the very top of the columns because everybody needs some positive affirmations. Everybody needs to feel like an authority in their space. And it does anchor things. It's not all expressing out. It's like now identity and expressing out. So that's put that whole map together. It's really, really fun. Every single reading is super, super fun for me.
Oh God, I can only imagine, especially when people like me are like, my God, I feel so seen. How did you do that? And you're like, it's because I am a magician and a witch and I am magical.
Amazing.
Yes. And
yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, you had told me that you kind of you wanted to like talk about a side by side, but on that note, like it's cool for me to have context because you come in, you feel seen, absolutely, hella accurate, 100%. You go on your merry way. And like the next person comes in and they could be doing the same thing, by the way. They could just have the same kind of business. They could have the same kind of offers. And it is like as different as night and day. Like there is no competition for anyone, anywhere, all of the time. We just need the words of differentiation, which human design is called the science of differentiation. And so for someone to come into me and I get to be myself also, I like words. I like communication and language. I get to like play with these two things, who you want to be, how you want to show up, what you want to talk about, what you want your business to be, that matters. And pair it with like the natal essence and go, oh yeah, here's the word to use for that. But every single client is just infinitely interested. Like I could go so much deeper in the chart, but I only have so much energy and hours a day. But yeah, contextually, like it aligns every time, 100%. And if it doesn't, they have usually given me the wrong birth information. Like I could see it immediately. I'm like, that does not match. this person does not match this chart. Like these socials don't match. It's not right. It's not the same topic. It's not the same energy. 100% match every time. And like just really gives that validation and permission to go all in on the thing you knew you wanted to, but you got too overwhelmed. Had too much input, too much was absorbed from the outside and distracted you. Now I just come right back in. Pointy. Just focus you.
And we are so grateful. I think
Yay.
also what was really cool is that I was leading with heart-led sovereignty, and you said that's the end state. People can't see themselves.
Mhm.
But I kept thinking in my mind, well, but I am all about sovereignty. We are here to be free. And then you said, because part of the thing that you help people with is not only words to sprinkle into your copy that are exactly what people need to hear based on your gifts and magic, but how you can rewrite your bio in a way that will speak to those people too. And you said something, you were like, and the culmination of it is that you are reorganizing people's lives around their own magic. And I was like, oh my God, she literally touched on everything, but in a way that I couldn't see because I was too close to it and speaking practitioner language and speaking end state versus that's everything that I want to do. And you pulled it out. And then I was like, well, or in your session, you also talk about ways that you can position yourself. Like I was saying, I'm a guide for heart-led sovereignty. And you said, we wrote it down, a guide between realms. And I have an offer in my business called Between Realms where I'm literally pulling information from my dream state and messages I get for the collective and transformational miracle-based things that happen to show people magic is real. And you saw that. And now I have the language for it. And it's so exciting because I feel it's so tangible and it's so me.
Mm-hmm. And it's so your chart. Like, and I mean, I don't ever call myself psychic or intuitive or any of those things. Not because I don't believe it or that I don't think it's me. I just don't have, as you've seen how my brain works, like I don't have the scientific metric to measure myself against to say what percentage of it I am. Anyways, when I'm like looking at a chart and like looking at all of these gates, I start to like see stuff, So I'm like looking at especially like if I have more intuitive and psychic clients, like I get some of theirs. But I'm looking at it and I'm looking at your design Venus, which is in gate 59. And like I have my own understanding and definition and words and energy, but I also like I can see what that looks like for that gate to be active in your field. And gate 59 really does like find the barrier. I mean, it's part of the channel of mating, and it's the gate of sexuality, technically in human design terms. But when we think about mating in any species, it's like the egg has to find, or the sperm has to find the barrier until it can reach the egg and start the process of creation, birth, or existence, consciousness, any of those things. And so I'm looking at this gate 59 in your ideal client spot, and I'm like, oh, they have met the barrier. They are like it's two different, like we're on two different sides of the thing. And so the heart-led sovereignty and all of this creation and all of this energy and sparkle and like potential and intuition, which is on your inside, it's like that's not where she is. When she's at the edge of the thing, she's like hitting her head against the wall. Okay. She wants sparkle. There's a barrier. Like we cannot see beyond that thing. And so like this depth of human design knowledge and context and like broadness that I have, and also my connection with my clients helps me go, oh, like I feel the essence of the whole narrative, like the whole journey. It's your journey, but it's the journey that you're an expert in. And thus you pull other people into the journey, whether you're conscious of it or not. And I just give you words for what is actually happening energetically and why people say that and why they think that and what they walk away with that maybe they don't say. And then all of the things that you're consciously processing and don't know how to move out to, someone who's just met you because you've been cycling these themes in your mind your whole life, but not practiced articulating them a lot. So yeah, it's like I said, endlessly fascinating and interesting and, the best job ever.
The best job ever. And I think about how cool it was, again, because I so rarely get to work with projectors. So to have your intuition and your insight and your clarity have never meeting me before. And I felt again so seen. And the tangibility of being able to walk out what you shared with me, that has always been there, but you gave me the language, you gave me the people who can hear me with exactly where they are, how to position myself, words to sprinkle in and to keep, sharing so that people build that neural connection with me. And I just felt like it was one of the most valuable things I've ever walked through. And then I have that video session with you, and I have my chart and my things that I can keep coming back to for when I start feeling led astray or when I am in transference and things like that. And so if you're curious, I highly recommend, if anything, finding Tangie on social media. So can you tell them what your handle is?
Pointy Aura. It's at Pointy_Aura because I had at Pointy Aura and then I got blocked. That's sort of new account. So there's an underscore in it now. I don't like things to be complicated, but here we are. At Pointy_Aura, Instagram and Threads. I was not spreading myself thin this time. Part of my design for this rebirth to be very direct and very potent and very pointy. So only Instagram and Threads. I do not exist on any other platform. I have no intention or plan as of today. And this brand. But you'll find me on Threads. I'll be posting every day. And on Instagram. I post it daily on Instagram as well. Yeah, super fun.
It's so fun. Just follow her, download the chart if you feel called, which you probably will, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna book in with her for one-on-one moments because it's magical. But also I think what's so cool is because you had that year of hellacious cataclysms and burning down like the Phoenix moment to expanding in this way where your business has exploded. Can you share a little bit about what you've been experiencing?
The good parts, right?
Yeah.
You spend as much time on the good parts as the bad parts, Tangie. Yeah, it's like it's hard to articulate, and I've had other people ask me, but it's like aligned is a good word, but it's not a good enough word. It's not a specific enough word. But it feels great. Like I actually posted on my stories and maybe on Threads too, but I posted like a side by side of me at 14 and me at 42. And it was like my real job is chatting online with best friends all day. That's really how, like, I'm excited to wake up and check my notifications and see who commented and who's encouraging me and who I can encourage today. It's exciting to me. Like, I feel so creative when I make a video for Instagram. I want to talk about this. I'm excited to talk about this. I record it. I don't give a fuck what my face looks like or how old I am or my body looks like. I am having the time of my life adding like fonts and sound effects and like zooming in and just like being silly and fun, but in a way that like keeps your attention and is like very direct and like, it's like, hey, you need to know this because I just learned this and it was so successful for me and I'm having so much fun and I really am. So it's like I'm posting on social media. It feels very creative. It feels very aligned. It feels very unfiltered and amazing to be that and be immediately like accepted and welcomed and encouraged and to get this feedback on all of the work that I've done up to this point, feedback that I did not get for fucking 8 years. Like people would give me a surface level, like, oh, you know so much about your own design. That's cool. But not this level of specificity of like, wow, you really know your stuff. Wow, that really just like changed something for me. Wow, that was really impactful. I love watching your journey. I love hearing your story. I'm invested in your story and where you are right now. That's a different kind of relationship, connection, community, feedback. Like I don't even like the word testimonials. It's just like I have screenshots of me talking to my friends. It feels great. And I had legitimately run out of money and just surrendered. Like there's I've always figured it out up until this point. Like I could lose a few pounds, I guess. Like I did have to start eating less. Could not afford food. It was very, very bad. And to just like have an influx of money, so much money that, I'm not like a millionaire, bazillionaire, but enough money to where I'm like, I don't need to worry about money. Like I have a savings for the first time forever because entrepreneurship will strip you of everything. But I have like a savings, like I have a buffer, and I have people just continually interested in more and in the next level. That's amazing. But also like taking my brain and my experience and my expertise and like just very thoroughly applying it. It's like playing games. It's like putting together puzzles all day, every day. I cannot sleep lately. I'm too excited to go to sleep, and I'm excited from the moment that I wake up. I don't want to go back to sleep. I'm just like fueled with all of this energy and positive energy and success and feedback. And community is huge. Communal, being in community, having friends, but friends with common interests is different than having followers. Because really, everybody that's booked with me, I would be like, yes, we can absolutely be best friends. We have so many common interests, and I'm so glad I found you on the interwebs. And I would totally like, if I was in your city, we would just go to dinner and we would just be friends, and it's cool. But all of that came from trusting my design and speaking to my ideal client and being very specific and narrow about it. Not exclusionary, just like I'm going to have so much fun in my life. If I have occult content creators who want to talk to me, that is going to be the most fun that I can have in my life, telling a channeler how to post on social media and to how to come up with a strategy so that she gets to access her channel more often. That's the best thing ever. What do you mean? This is amazing. It's amazing all day, every day. Yeah, and like the demand for my energy and for my expertise and for my lived experience. It really is the thing that I wanted my whole life as a projector. So if you're a projector, I think, hey, you just have to hit rock bottom. I'm just kidding. You have the main thing, the main point of everything is that you have to not be fake. That's the main point. If you've met me in a reading, if you've met me on the street, if you've read my threads, if you've come across my Instagram, it is the same. I mean, you're watching me now, right? On this, you're asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you anything, whatever. It is the same person. It's not fake. It's not performed. It's not contrived. It's not a structured content schedule. Even though I'm in the business of social media, it's not going to work. It's going to feel like too much work, and you're going to come off as fake, and your energy's going to be weird, and you're not going to get any followers, but you're going to be checking the box. Do you want to check the box and have zero return on investment? Or do you want to have fun? Do you want to be yourself and have fun with me? That's what I do.
It's the giggle for me because it's so pure. And it's cool because you're saying the quality of recognition is there, right? That you've been at. The specificity is where it's at in the same way of being specific about who you are meant to be working with. And then you can, invite them forward with language they can hear. I think also what's so cool is you're letting us be on this journey with you. And I think that's so special because I remember vividly watching you when you got your first $10,000 after having no money and how you were waiting for the check to clear. And I'm sitting there like, I'm so excited for you and so proud of you. And normally people are like, you can't talk about money. You can't blah, blah, blah. And I'm over here like, girl, make all the money. Please, God, make all the money because that means I know you are helping people be more themselves. What a freaking gift is that?
That's exactly how I feel. Yeah, I was holding my breath to get the 10K from Stripe to my bank account because it usually does it automatically, but I had messed up something in my account. Just me being me, I was just like, oh, I gotta separate this and like make a whole thing and like link it to this thing. And can I just get this over with so I can go back to hanging out with my friends? And like I messed it up to where it didn't have an automatic payout. And I'm like a week into this, like I'm having the most amazing launch ever. And I'm like, well, I have money, but I don't have money. I'm looking at my bank account. I need to go buy groceries or something. And I'm like, why don't I have any money? So I literally opened my app. I'm like, please let me actually have, where is it? It's there in Stripe and it has just accumulated, which would have never happened. Okay. In any other reality would have never happened. I have automatic payouts. So just a little bit and then a little bit daily, whatever. It all accumulated. And I was like, I have to transfer this to my bank. And what do I get lost me either? I'm crying. I'm like so happy. I haven't seen this amount, ever as an entrepreneur, all at once. But then I'm also like, man, what? I can eat, but can I? Did I mix up? But do I? Like, is it gonna make it across? But yeah, the documentation of the journey. And I'm documenting like how much I'm geeking out with my clients. I'm like, look at what happened. She came and she went from this to this, and that's the coolest shit I've ever heard. I was so bored. It was either bored or I was confused. Who you got here? No offense, right? But now we have magical, sparkly words. Oh, how exciting! And I go post about that. Every random thought that I have, every day of my, life and experience, I want it to be documented because, like, you guys are my friends. Tell me what you're doing too.
Oh, and it's so fun because I primarily follow you on Threads because I like reading things. And I love how you're like, I'm about to have a read my feed session with this woman and we're gonna have to shift her to this. How do you think that's gonna land for someone who's been like, I am a somatics coach, And you're like, we're gonna and I just love the way that your brain works because I'm over here like, I actually would really love to work with that person. That sounds really fun. I love the way that you position them. What? And you do that for a living.
I want to work with everyone. I want to work with everyone now after I position them. Before I'm like, I'm spending an hour on their social media going, I'm still not sure. I'm still not 100% sure what you do.
Right.
Where do I find it? Like, what am I supposed to do? But yeah, going into session, like I said, the majority of these people, I know nothing. Like 100% I've never met, right? 100%. Maybe like you've come across my feed, I've come across yours. Like I might recognize your name on social media. Cool. But I didn't do like a deep dive investigation. I have no context at all. And so when I'm about to do a session and I just put out this random post like, hey, I'm about to tell this person to just be like way more bougie and aloof and not to be relatable at all because like she won't make it. I don't tell anybody else that. It's social media. I'm like the most relatable person there is. And I'm telling you, like, no, do not. What is it? I put like lower mortals or something. That's not me. So I make a little thread like, how do you guys think she'll take it? Because I have no idea. Is she gonna tell me I'm insane, or is she gonna be like, yep, that's exactly how I felt, but I didn't want to be an asshole yet? Which it was the latter. She was like, yeah, I mean, I said it to a coach before, and she told me I was an asshole. So I was like, well, I can't do this. The most entertaining job ever.
And we love to see it. We love it.
The
And
best.
I think
It's the best.
yes, and the fact that so many people have fear around this is a heavily saturated industry. Everyone's a coach, everyone's a guide, everyone's into somatic things, blah blah blah. And you're like, how do you stand out? And then you give them specific language that's literally from their natal chart and why they were born at this specific time with these specific gifts. And you're like, just go forth and be that, be you, and speak in that way. And your people will find you. It's just, it takes the pressure off of performing, honestly.
Every session, I'm like, okay, listen, I would never tell anyone else. Listen, this is not a blanket statement, but this is what you need to do. It's right there. It's like plain as day to me. And they're like, okay, yeah, that definitely tracks. I'm like, but I never know. I never know what I'm walking into. But yes, everyone is completely differentiated. And you were mentioning that like people who are fourth lines are coming in. So for your profile numbers in human design, if you have a 4 in your profile, you're very like community oriented, but like a close knit community, the ones who will actually listen to you, not like a network, not like a LinkedIn, like everybody's my best friend type of energy. And these fourth lines were coming in and like referring me to people. And so I was seeing the same types of practitioners over and over again because they're in the same community, they're learning the same thing together. And I'm like, you are so different. You do this. Yes. Like maybe you're both hypnotists, but you are like not that kind of hypnotist, not just basic boring hypnotist, like not just like come in and like do the thing and leave. No, like you do this kind. And it's so fascinating. And do more of that. Why aren't you talking about that actually? You should about that. My readings.
I find it really inspiring. And also I can only comprehend how meaningful of the work is for you because it's so different every single day, every single client. and you get to be creative and you get to be you, and then you get to be met by people who are so genuinely excited to be seen by you specifically. And so if you are on Threads or Instagram, please follow her. Her content is so fun, it's so valuable, it's so helpful, and you feel like you are part of a community, and we get to just orbit around you and your magic and see how other people pop off, and even that is expiring. Are we still in Mercury retrograde? My God, we're in the shadow period, right?
So-
No, good. It's just me. Great, amazing.
Shadow.
Perfect.
Yeah. Saturn retrograde. Blame Saturn.
Saturn. Thank you. So follow her if you're curious, and download the strategy social media chart that she has based on your chart, and then you can take it even deeper. So thank you for being with me. I always ask my guests one question, and that is, what is alive in your heart today?
You. Everything, everywhere, all the time. How does one answer that? How has anyone ever answered that before?
I can't tell you that. It's a secret. It's special for every
Dang it.
person.
I know, I got to go back and watch the preview. That was on my list of things to do. The list of things to do never ends. Yeah, that's the only answer. I'm so sorry.
Everywhere.
I mean, it's
all the things.
I think it's a good at. No, it's you.
All the things, everywhere, all at once, and me. And I love that. I get to be part of your cosmos. Thank you so much.
The
Tangie.
first answer was you. The first answer was you. But this is the essence. Okay, this is good. This is the essence, because that is exactly how I feel about like every single person on this journey. Every single follower, every single person who engages or messages or comments. You're living my heart now. I really, that's how it feels.
Thank you for your work in the world. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for helping me and helping me give voice to what I do in a way that people can hear me. It means the whole world to me and everyone I get to work with who are like, where have you been? And I'm like, here, I just didn't know how to speak to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, if you're curious, connect with Tangie because she is magical. Thank you for being with me, Tangie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so fun. Such good questions. You're a genius.
I let that land. Thank you.